Release doubt, and you release the barrier between yourself and the good that is already seeking you. For doubt is not merely a passing thought, it is a quiet resistance, a subtle refusal to receive what has already been prepared for you. Many people pray for abundance, ask for opportunities, desire peace, and yet, in the same breath, they question whether it will come. This contradiction is what halts the flow. You cannot invite blessings with one hand and push them away with the other. There is a divine current that moves through all things, always ready to express itself as health, wealth, harmony, and right conditions in your life. This current never stops, it never hesitates, it never doubts, it simply flows. The only thing that interrupts it in your experience is your own uncertainty. When you begin to doubt, you step out of alignment with that current. You close the channel through which your good must come. To release doubt, you must first recognize that what you seek is not outside of you, but already aligned with your deeper self. The desire within you is evidence of its fulfillment. You do not long for what is impossible, you are drawn toward what is already yours in the unseen. When you understand this, doubt begins to lose its power. Instead of questioning, you start to trust. Instead of worrying, you begin to expect. Expectation is the language of receiving. What you truly expect, you allow. What you allow, you experience. If you expect delay, struggle, or disappointment, you unknowingly give life to those conditions. But if you expect ease, support, and success, you open the way for them to appear. This is not wishful thinking, it is spiritual law. Life responds not to your words alone, but to your inner conviction. Doubt often disguises itself as logic. It says, be realistic, look at your past, consider the odds. But the past has no authority over the present unless you give it power. The conditions you see today are the result of yesterday's beliefs. Change the belief, and the conditions must change. This is where your freedom lies, not in controlling the outer world, but in mastering your inner agreement with it. When doubt arises, do not fight it with fear or frustration. Simply replace it. Speak with quiet authority within yourself. I trust the perfect unfolding of my life. What is meant for me cannot be withheld. What I seek is already on its way. These words, when felt deeply, begin to dissolve resistance. They realign you with the flow. There is no need to force, chase, or struggle. Effort born from fear only creates more resistance. True power is calm, certain, and unwavering. It knows without seeing. It trusts without proof. When you stand in that place of inner knowing, things begin to move. Often in ways you could not have predicted. Doors open. Opportunities appear. People enter your life at the right moment. What once felt blocked begins to unfold naturally. Your role is not to make things happen, but to allow them. Allowing is an act of faith. It is the quiet confidence that what you have claimed in your heart is already secured in spirit. It is the refusal to be shaken by appearances. Even when nothing seems to be changing, you remain steady, knowing that unseen forces are already at work on your behalf. Impatience is another form of doubt. It says if it hasn't happened yet, it may not happen at all. But everything has its appointed time. Just as a seed must take root before it breaks through the soil, your blessings are forming beneath the surface before they become visible. Trust the process. Do not dig up your seed with anxious thoughts. Leave it in the soil of faith, and it will grow. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to release doubt. When you give thanks for what you have and for what is coming, you shift your focus from lack to abundance. You affirm that the flow is already active in your life. Gratitude does not wait for proof, it creates it. It opens the heart and clears the path for greater good to enter. You are not separate from the source of all good. You are an expression of it. Therefore, your blessings are not something you must earn, they are something you must allow. The moment you stop questioning your worthiness, you step into a new reality. You begin to receive with ease because you no longer resist what is naturally yours. Release doubt not once but continually. Each time it appears, choose trust. Each time fear speaks, answer with certainty. Each time you feel uncertain, return to the knowing that there is a greater intelligence guiding your life perfectly. Align with it and you will find that what once seemed distant begins to draw near. And as you walk forward in this trust, you will notice something remarkable. life begins to feel lighter. Struggles lose their grip, opportunities feel natural. What once required effort now unfolds with grace. This is the flow of blessings, a state where you are no longer blocking your good, but welcoming it fully. Let go of doubt, and you will discover that what you have been seeking has been seeking you all along, waiting for the moment you finally allowed it to arrive. Doubt is not just a passing thought that drifts through the mind and disappears without consequence. It is a quiet, but powerful force that interferes with the natural flow of blessings that are meant to move freely into your life. It operates subtly, often going unnoticed, yet it has the ability to delay, distort, or completely block the good that is already prepared for you. When you hold doubt within, you are not simply questioning an outcome, you are resisting it. You are creating an invisible barrier that stands between you and the fulfillment of your desires. There is a universal flow of abundance that is always active, always moving, always seeking expression. This flow does not pause or hesitate. It does not judge or discriminate. It simply responds to alignment. When you are in a state of trust, you align with this flow, and it moves through your life with ease, bringing opportunities, solutions, and favorable conditions in ways that often seem effortless. But when doubt enters your consciousness, it disrupts this alignment. It is as though you have stepped out of the current and are now standing on the shore, wondering why the water no longer carries you forward. Many people believe that their blessings are delayed because of external circumstances, lack of resources, or unfavorable conditions, but the true cause is often internal resistance. Doubt is a form of resistance. It is a refusal to fully accept that what you desire is already yours in a higher sense. It says, what if it doesn't happen? What if I am not capable? What if things go wrong? These questions seem harmless, even practical, but they carry a vibration that contradicts the very thing you are asking for. You cannot move forward with confidence while simultaneously entertaining the possibility of failure. The mind is creative in nature. It takes the ideas you consistently hold and begins to shape your experience around them. When doubt becomes a habit, it conditions the mind to expect limitations instead of possibilities. It trains you to focus on obstacles rather than solutions. Over time, this expectation becomes your reality, not because the world is against you, but because you have unconsciously agreed with a version of life that includes struggle and delay. To release doubt, you must first recognize that it has no true authority. It is not a voice of truth. It is a reflection of past conditioning, fear, and uncertainty. It draws its strength from repetition. The more you entertain it, the more convincing it becomes. But the moment you begin to question it instead of obeying it, it starts to lose its power. You must become aware of the thoughts you are allowing to take root within your mind, and gently but firmly replace those that do not serve your highest good. Trust is not something that appears suddenly. It is something you cultivate through conscious choice. Each time you choose to believe in a positive outcome instead of a negative one, you strengthen your alignment with the flow of blessings. Each time you affirm that things are working out in your favor, even when there is no visible evidence, you open the channel a little wider. This is not about ignoring reality. It is about recognizing that reality is not fixed and can be influenced by your inner state. There is a quiet confidence that comes with true trust. It does not need to announce itself or seek validation. It simply knows. It knows that what is meant for you cannot be taken away. It knows that what you have claimed in your heart is already in the process of becoming real. This knowing allows you to move through life with a sense of ease, even in the face of uncertainty. You are no longer shaken by temporary appearances because you understand that they do not define the final outcome. Doubt, on the other hand, creates tension. It makes you feel as though you must force things to happen, control every detail, and constantly worry about what might go wrong. This tension blocks the natural flow of energy. It constricts your ability to receive. When you are tense, you are closed. When you are relaxed and trusting, you are open. And it is in this openness that blessings find their way to you. That releasing doubt does not mean you will never experience moments of uncertainty. Thoughts may still arise, especially in situations that challenge your comfort zone. The difference is in how you respond to them. Instead of accepting them as truth, You acknowledge them and choose something higher. You remind yourself that your circumstances are not permanent and that your inner state has the power to transform them. One of the most effective ways to dissolve doubt is through consistent affirmation of truth. Speak words that align with the reality you wish to experience. Declare that you are supported, that you are guided, that everything is unfolding perfectly for you. These declarations are not empty phrases, they are seeds planted in the subconscious mind. With repetition and feeling, they begin to take root and eventually manifest as tangible results in your life. Another powerful practice is to act as if your desired outcome is already secured. This does not mean pretending or denying your current situation. It means carrying yourself with the confidence and assurance of someone who knows that success is inevitable. Your actions, your tone, your decisions, all begin to reflect this inner certainty. And as you embody this state, you naturally attract circumstances that match it. Faith and expectation go hand in hand. Faith is the inner knowing, while expectation is the outward readiness to receive. When you expect good things to happen, you become more aware of opportunities that align with your desires. You notice connections, ideas, and possibilities that you might have overlooked before. It is not that these opportunities were not there. It is that your awareness was not attuned to them. The flow of blessings is always present, always available, always seeking expression through you. Your role is not to create it, but to allow it. And allowing begins with releasing the grip of doubt. It begins with choosing trust, even when it feels unfamiliar. It begins with aligning your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs with the outcome you wish to experience. As you do this consistently, you will find that life begins to respond in new and surprising ways, bringing you closer to the reality you have envisioned, not through struggle, but through alignment, not through force, but through quiet certainty, not through endless effort, but through the simple and powerful act of believing that what you desire is already making its way to you. What you truly expect within yourself becomes the silent command that shapes your outer world. It is not merely your wishes or occasional positive thoughts that determine your experience, but the deep, consistent expectations you hold beneath the surface. These expectations operate like a blueprint, quietly influencing your reactions, your decisions, and even the opportunities you notice or ignore. Whether you are aware of them or not, they are always at work, directing the flow of your life in subtle yet powerful ways. Expectation is not something you declare once, it is something you live in. It is the inner atmosphere you carry with you wherever you go. If you expect struggle, life will appear as a series of obstacles to overcome. If you expect rejection, you will interpret neutral situations as signs of disapproval. If you expect success, support, and ease, you begin to move differently, speak differently, and think differently, and life responds accordingly. It is not coincidence, it is alignment between your inner state and your outer experience. Many people unknowingly hold expectations rooted in past disappointments. They may say they desire growth, happiness, or abundance, but deep down they anticipate delay, difficulty, or failure. This hidden expectation creates a conflict within. One part of the mind is asking for expansion, while another part is bracing for limitation. In this divided state, progress feels slow or inconsistent, not because the desire is weak, but because the expectation is unclear. Clarity of expectation brings unity of direction, and unity of direction brings momentum. To understand how expectation shapes reality, consider how it influences perception. The mind naturally looks for evidence to confirm what it already believes. If you expect positive outcomes, you begin to notice signs that support that belief. Small wins, helpful connections, moments of progress. These signs reinforce your expectation, making it stronger and more stable. On the other hand, if you expect negative outcomes, you become more sensitive to setbacks, delays, and imperfections. Even minor challenges seem significant because they align with your expectation. Your behavior is also guided by what you expect. When you expect success, you take action with confidence. You are more willing to try, to persist, and to adapt. You approach situations with a sense of possibility rather than fear. This attitude increases the likelihood of favorable outcomes, not through luck, but through consistent and aligned effort. When you expect failure, your actions become cautious or hesitant. You may avoid risks, delay decisions, or give up too soon. These behaviors reinforce the very outcome you fear. Expectation is closely tied to belief, but it is more active. Belief is what you accept as true, while expectation is what you anticipate will happen next. You can believe that something is possible, yet not expect it to happen for you. In such cases, the lack of expectation limits the expression of that belief. When belief and expectation are aligned, they create a powerful force that moves you steadily toward your desired reality. Allowing is the natural result of positive expectation. When you expect good things to happen, you become open to receiving them. You do not question every opportunity or doubt every outcome. You accept with ease what aligns with your expectation. Smooth pathway for blessings to enter your life. Resistance fades because there is no internal argument against what is unfolding. Doubt, in contrast, disrupts expectation. It introduces uncertainty and hesitation, weakening the clarity of your inner direction. When doubt is present, even strong desires can feel distant or unattainable. The key is not to eliminate every doubtful thought, but to reduce its influence by strengthening your expectation. The more you focus on what you choose to expect, the less power doubt has to interfere. One effective way to build positive expectation is through repetition of intentional thoughts. When you consistently remind yourself of the outcomes you desire, you begin to internalize them. These thoughts gradually shift from being hopeful ideas to becoming natural expectations. Over time, they shape your emotional state, making confidence and optimism your default response rather than something you have to force. Visualization can also support this process. By imagining yourself already experiencing the results you desire, you create a sense of familiarity. What once felt distant begins to feel normal. This familiarity reduces resistance and strengthens expectation. You are no longer hoping for something unknown, you are anticipating something that feels real and attainable. Another important aspect is emotional alignment. Expectation is not just mental, it is emotional. It is the feeling of readiness, the quiet assurance that what you desire is on its way. When your emotions match your expectations, you create a strong and coherent signal. This signal influences how you interact with the world and how the world responds to you. Patience plays a role in maintaining expectation. There may be moments when results are not immediately visible, and during these times it is easy to revert to doubt. True expectation remains steady even in the absence of immediate evidence. It understands that processes take time and that unseen factors are often at work. This steadiness prevents you from undoing your progress through sudden shifts in belief. Your environment and the people around you can also influence your expectations. Surrounding yourself with negativity or constant doubt can make it harder to maintain a positive outlook. Being mindful of these influences allows you to protect and strengthen your inner state. Choosing what you listen to, what you focus on, and who you engage with becomes part of the practice of shaping your expectations. Ultimately, what you expect is what you prepare for, consciously or unconsciously. It determines where you direct your energy, how you interpret events, and how you respond to challenges. By choosing your expectations deliberately, you take an active role in shaping your life. You move from reacting to circumstances to guiding them through your inner alignment. As you continue to cultivate empowering expectations, you may begin to notice a shift in how life unfolds. Situations that once seemed difficult become manageable. Opportunities appear more frequently. Interactions become smoother. This is not because the world has suddenly changed, but because your way of engaging with it has transformed. Your inner expectation has created a new framework through which you experience reality, allowing you to receive more of what you desire with clarity, confidence, and openness. Creating a steady movement toward outcomes that reflect the belief that life is working with you rather than against you.